All right, let's jump right into this. Welcome to the explainer for the May 2nd edition of VoxStar Pulse. We're here to cut through the noise of the daily news cycle and distill it down to exactly what you need to know. Today, we've got an absolutely incredible lineup of stories, spanning everywhere from the deep depths of history right up to the absolute cutting edge of modern technology.
We are breaking down exactly 10 distinct, fascinating stories today. And honestly, what's wild is just how much ground we're going to cover. We are moving rapidly from monumental, world-changing moments in human history straight through to the newest gaming announcements from Nintendo. So let's get a perfect snapshot of today's global pulse.
Act 1. Milestones in our society.
Okay, so looking at this timeline, we start with the era before 1994, which was a time marked by decades of deeply unfair systemic rules in South Africa. But then, we hit that incredible pivot point right there in the middle, 1994. Today actually marks the anniversary of history in the making. It's the day Nelson Mandela claimed victory in South Africa's very first multiracial election. You know, this isn't just some date on a calendar, it's literally the closing of one dark chapter and the opening of a radically new, more equitable one that we are still celebrating today. It really is a powerful reminder of how far society can leap forward.
From global history, let's zoom into something a little closer to home and honestly pretty magical. Schools all across the country, including places like Lincoln Elementary out in California, are rolling out these amazing book vending machines. But here's the kicker. You don't use regular money to get these books. No. Students actually have to earn a special golden coin. And how do they do that? Simply by demonstrating good behavior, being helpful, or showing kindness to their classmates. It completely flips the script, making reading a highly coveted reward rather than a chore, and it builds those positive societal habits right from the ground up.
Speaking of long-standing traditions, the number 152 is massive today. It marks the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby. Now, this isn't just any regular race. It is widely considered the most famous horse race in the entire world. It's a total staple of culture and sports that has endured for over a century and a half. People always call it the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. And honestly, when you think about the sheer staying power of a 152-year-old tradition, you really get a sense of how deeply embedded these milestones are in our society.
Act 2. The cutting edge of tech. Now this next one is a fascinating leap in engineering. We're comparing two things you'd probably never put side by side. On the left, human fingernails. We use them for highly dexterous, super delicate tasks, right? Think about peeling a piece of fruit or trying to pick up a flat coin off a smooth table. Now look on the right, robotic fingernails. Engineers have literally designed new robotic hands equipped with these incredibly thin fingernail-like tips specifically engineered to mimic that exact human dexterity. For decades, robots have seriously struggled with delicate tasks, but by pulling inspiration directly from biology and giving the hardware fingernails, engineers are finally letting robots peel fruit and pick up objects just like we do. It is a massive game changer for robotics. And that tech evolution, it's spilling right over into medicine. Artificial intelligence is officially heading to the doctor's office in a really big way. A brand new study just revealed that AI assistants are actively helping doctors find missed diagnoses. They're essentially catching the tiny, subtle things that human eyes might accidentally overlook. And because of this, it ensures patients are getting the correct medicine way faster than ever before. To be clear, it's not about replacing your doctor, it's more about equipping them with a flawless digital safety net. But technology isn't just changing medicine. It's literally changing how we understand our own brains, especially in the classroom. Have you ever wondered why math is just fundamentally harder for some people? Well, recent brain scans are actually giving us the answers. Researchers have been studying kids with math learning disabilities, and what they've found is mind-blowing. The brain actually processes number symbols, like the written number 5, completely differently than it processes actual physical quantities, like 5 building blocks. For some kids, the cognitive bridge between the symbol and the quantity just works differently. Understanding this through advanced scanning is incredible because it directly helps teachers create much better, way more effective learning methods for these kids.
Act 3. Pop culture and play. All right, Marvel fans, pay attention to this one. Young Avengers assemble. Yes, it is officially confirmed. Marvel has locked in the cast for the highly anticipated new Young Avengers movie. But what's really driving the internet completely crazy right now, and what you really need to take away from this, are the clues. Fans are dissecting these announcements and spotting massive hints pointing toward a gigantic multiversal crossover event. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is clearly gearing up for its next massive phase, and the Young Avengers are stepping right into the spotlight.
From the silver screen straight to your gaming console, Nintendo just dropped a wonderful surprise.
Yoshi and the Mysterious Book has been officially announced, and yes, it's heading to the much-talked-about Nintendo Switch 2. The mechanics on this sound incredibly fun. You'll be playing as everyone's favorite green dinosaur, but the big twist here is that Yoshi will be physically jumping into a magical book to solve a variety of puzzles. It's just a perfect example of Nintendo's signature charm, completely blending their classic platforming with a totally new puzzle environment.
Okay, so the number 10 is popping up again today, but this time it's all about a massive shakeup in professional sports. If you follow soccer, you already know about yellow cards and red cards, but right now professional soccer leagues are testing out a brand new blue card. Here's how it works. If a player gets hit with a blue card, they aren't kicked out of the game entirely like with a red card. Instead, they are sent off the pitch into a designated sin bin for exactly 10 minutes to cool off before they can return to the field. It's this radical new test to manage player behavior without permanently altering the balance of the match.
Act 4, a cinematic history lesson. Happy birthday to A Trip to the Moon. Way back on this exact day in 1902, the world witnessed the release of its very first science fiction movie. Just think about that for a second. Long before CGI, way before sound and film, filmmakers were already looking up at the stars. It's absolutely legendary for its practical effects and wild imagination, especially that famously iconic scene where the capsule rocket lands directly and, honestly somewhat comically, right smack in the man in the moon's eye. Literally every sci-fi blockbuster you watch today owes a massive debt to the pioneering creativity of this 1902 masterpiece. Act 5, the Pulse Knowledge Check. All right, let's see how much of this explainer actually stuck with you. Think back to our Act 1 milestones. What do students need to use those new book vending machines popping up in schools like Lincoln Elementary? Do you remember what the currency is?
The answer is a golden coin. And remember the absolutely crucial context here. They cannot buy these with cash. They earn these golden coins strictly through good behavior, being helpful, and demonstrating kindness.
Okay, perfect. Let's hit question number 2. We just covered this in our cinematic history lesson. What was the title of the very first science fiction movie ever made, released all the way back in 1902?
And the answer is, of course, A Trip to the Moon, complete with that rocket landing right in the moon's eye. If you got both of those right, fantastic job paying attention to the details today.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. Just think about the incredible scope of what we covered in this explainer today. From celebrating the very first sci-fi movie in 1902, all the way to discussing the invention of highly dexterous robotic fingernails and AI doctors. We are constantly surrounded by an incredible spectrum of human achievement. So really ask yourself, how much history do you actually witness in a single day? The world is moving incredibly fast, but by stopping to understand the pulse of these stories, we can really appreciate the incredible timeline we're a part of. Thanks for joining me for the explainer today, and keep your curiosity sharp.